Denise, it is so good to see your beautiful face, and thank you for
Likewise.
showing up. And I love when you're here, and I love what you give to the group, and how how is it going?
Well, you are the group. You and Grace and Monique and the other ladies are amazing. And though I don't get to come in that often, you have really all inspired me. And I just wanted to let you know before I came on this meeting, well, you know about that I've had credit card debt, but literally 2 minutes before I was getting onto this call, I said to my husband, I grabbed my paper and my pen, and I like to take notes. And I said, you should love these classes. And he looked at me, I said, these classes, you meaning Larissa, you're the reason why I don't have credit card debt. And I've had it for years, for years and years and years. But you had posed a challenge a few months ago, I don't recall the month. And I took that as I'm not using my credit card anymore. So I haven't. I did find out that there are things where you have to use it online. I had to pay for my realtor dues and whatnot. I may have mentioned that before, but I grab my pen and my checkbook and I write a check right then and there to my credit card. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it is such a pleasure not to have that bill. So thank you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Denise.
And he's happy too.
That is so powerful. That is so huge. And I just have to give it to you for taking on the challenge. There's a lot of people that say that they just throw excuses, and they're like, oh, it's normal to have credit card debt. I'll always have credit card debt. You can't. And you even gave an excuse right here, and then you gave your solution.
Yeah.
There are some things you can't avoid using your credit card for.
Right.
And the difference between the majority of the population and you is the majority of the population says, oh, well, I guess I have to use it. But what you did is you said, well, they're only taking my dues online. I have to use my credit card, pay it, get my checkbook out, write the check.
Yes.
And you're not carrying debt.
Right.
You're just paying it off immediately. And that is so huge. That
Well,
is going
thank
to be
you.
a weight off your shoulders as well.
Absolutely. And I was even able to treat myself in the other group, in Linda's group, about having a budget and treating yourself. And I just don't do it. I either overspend or I don't do anything. So now as each closing comes in, I say, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to such and such. So getting those pieces, but just doing it within the budget. And immediately, like I said, writing the check. Now I might have a couple of checks, and I actually felt guilty at first. Do you know that, when I used it? And then I said, well, if they're not taking a check and I don't want to use my debit card because online or whatever, they could wipe you out. So I said, no, there are times where we have to do this. So I write a check and I write a check, and there might be two. I think this month is the most, and there are 3, but they're there. So I'm so grateful to you and all the ladies for being such an inspiration. But you're absolutely right. You don't have to have credit card debt, and I've had it for a very long time. So without you and your challenge, I probably still have it. So thank you.
Oh my goodness, that is huge. Well, I am glad that you are also taking the opportunity to celebrate your wins.
Yes, thank you.
So again, that is huge. You're not deprived. You have a plan, it's paid off, and now when you treat yourself, there's no guilt. You have a strategy and a plan. That's phenomenal. Well, blown away, Denise.
That's you. That's you. You're the reason. I said to my husband, stick around, look at the lady. This is the lady why I don't have credit card debt. So.
Oh man, well, thank you. And it takes a team, and I will go off of that to say something that my coach and mentor said to me is, if there's something in your life that you don't have, you go find somebody that has that and you learn from them.
Yes.
So I have no credit card debt. And now you found me and you're like, huh, what's she doing? Oh, that's what she's doing. I'm going to do it. And now you have no credit card debt.
Yes.
It works. It totally works. And that's how it is for everything. So I'm really excited about my short little lesson tonight with a new challenge. And you are at the perfect spot for this new challenge. So I have a series of questions, and the question that I proposed in the group earlier today was, do you believe you can be 100% debt-free in 5 to 7 years? So, consider that. Do you believe it? Now, there are some people that believe they have to stop. They have to use their credit card. Well, you've already proven to yourself that you can live without being in credit card debt. Some people don't believe it. You're living proof of that. Now, being 100% debt free in 5 to 7 years, that's another level. Some people do not believe that. But using all of these war on debt methods, people have gotten out of debt in 5 to 7 years. It's possible. Now, if you don't believe it, do you want to believe it? All right, so that's the next question. Do you want to believe it? And if you do, you're going to stick around. And if you don't, then the statistics are, we've heard it time and time again, 98% of the population will be dead or dead broke at age 65, relying on their friends, family, or the government to survive. And that, I don't believe, is what God wants for us. He wants us to live in freedom. And for me, there was a moment in time, I was trying to get out of debt. Like for 15 years, I was trying to get out of debt. And I always paid a little bit more on my debt, a little bit more, but it just didn't seem like I was getting anywhere. And I started reading the scriptures in the Bible about debt and about managing your money. And when God set up his people that came out of Egypt, he set guidelines and he set a plan for them. And one of the plans was that nobody would be in debt on the 7th year for his people. They were all debt free in 7 years.
I didn't know that.
And that hit me. I was like, that's God's plan for his people. Now, what he did for his people, and this is around Leviticus, and you look as they came out of Egypt, every 7 years, all debts were erased. And also every 50th year was a year of Jubilee, where again, all debts would be erased. Now, if we were back then and the year of forgiving debts was like 6 months away, and you came to me, Denise, and you said, hey, I want to borrow this big amount of money, I'd be like, I don't know if now's the right time. Come see me in another year. There was incentive. People were not going to loan out money if they didn't think they were going to get it back.
Of course.
Another scripture that was really powerful to me in Proverbs was, don't co-sign for people. Don't be a co-signer. And I'm like, because when you co-sign, you're 100% responsible. Do you really want to take that on? So the Bible really has a lot of wisdom. So that gave me the belief that I could be debt free in 5 to 7 years. I got Danny Johnson's material. I applied it wholeheartedly, and in 12 months, I paid off $92,000 worth of debt, 100% debt free, including my house mortgage. So it was powerful. It took work, but it's possible. And it really amped up. And it wasn't like we were super rich and not managing our finances properly. One income family, homeschooling family. I had 5 years of surgeries. My son had 2 years in Miami Children's Hospital. I mean, at one point, I think we had $80,000 of medical debt, student loans, the whole kit and caboodle. So I was working on it. But what I did in those 12 months, and I don't want to say because my husband worked his rear end off to support us as a one income family. So it's really teamwork. You really want your team. And again, all of these principles work. Denise, you're already seeing this. Anybody who's watching the replay, it works. But the first thing you have to do, even if you don't believe you can be debt free in 5 to 7 years, you have to want to believe. And the first thing you have to do is figure out where you are. So number one, where are you? Where are you? What are you spending? How much do you owe? How much are you paying on what you owe? Are you having late fees? Where are you in your life? Where are you in your financial life? Where are you in your spiritual life? Where are you? Are you in a peaceful mode? Are you in a
Mm.
frantic mode? Are you in a depressive mode? Everything is really related to money. Statistics show most divorces happen because there's money issues. It's a part of our lives. So number one, where are you? And number two, where do you want to be? And with those two questions, you can use any topic of your life. You can say, where am I financially? And where do I want to be? Where am I physically? And where do I want to be? Where am I in my relationship with my significant other? And where do I want to be? Maybe I don't have a significant other, and that's where I want to be in a relationship. So these questions cover every single facet of your life. Where are you? Where do you want to be? Just like a GPS.
Mhm.
I think I know where I want to go, but it's not going to get me there until I look where I'm at now and I plug that in. So these are the basics. The third question is, how long will it take you to get there at your current pace? So if you just keep doing what you're doing, how long is it going to take to get there? And if we're just talking finances, Denise, you just have a great example. You have learned some skills that's going to get you to your financial goals faster now that you've applied these skills. So again, how long is it going to take you at your current pace? Some people are falling backwards. Some people aren't keeping up with their payments. And instead of getting to be where they want to be, they're sliding back. It happens. But once you know what actions you're taking and what it's leading to, then you can ask yourself question number 4, what is it going to take to get me there faster? What's it going to take to get me there more efficiently. So those are the 4 questions. Now, some people are happy with their current pace. They're like, hey, I know I'm going to pay off my mortgage debt in 30 years and I'm okay with it. I don't need to do anything. Okay, fine. But some people are like, no, I want to get there faster. And again, the key is find out who's done it, see what they're doing, and follow them. I told you what I did. I did War on Debt. I recommend that to everybody. That's going to get you there faster. Um, if we're talking about maybe a different subject than mortgage debt, whatever you want to do, something that will always get you there faster is community. We're not an island. When people see other people doing it, it raises them up. So Denise, when people see this and they're like, oh, she's credit card debt free. What's she doing? You've partnered with me, Denise, and we're raising people up. And that's the cycle. That's the cycle I want. Because it's my heart for people to have that freedom. And I just saw how hard my husband worked and what stress and pressure he had. And I'll be honest, even after we paid off debt, he still had the mindset of being in poverty.
Mm.
All right. So over the course of the next month or two, we're going to focus on these 4 questions because it's not something for me that I can just do in 5 minutes. Where am I? Where do I want to be? How long is it going to take me? What is it going to take to get me there faster? Because we're always growing and we always have a different area of our lives that is lagging behind. And that we're like, maybe this is the area that I need to focus on in this season. Maybe it's that area. So again, these 4 questions, but I just want to give you and everybody ideas on how you can get to your goal faster. Um, find the mentorship, find a community. If you don't have a community, make a community. Maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your spouse, maybe you have a couple of friends that can, if you want to lose weight. I know some friends of mine, they got together in the morning, had a little mom's group, walked a little 5-mile pace, whatever. Community and accountability is huge. And I think Grace even mentioned that in our posts earlier, that accountability was something that she wanted. You got to figure out what is keeping you stuck. And as you develop these goals, they can seem overwhelming to some people. And, we'll talk further on about just breaking it down in small steps. If somebody wants to be 100% debt free in 5 to 7 years, that sounds kind of big and impossible. But if somebody said, hey, can I just write a check or send in a payment every time I use my credit card? Or maybe every week I look at my expenses and send out that credit card, that's doable. And you've already proved it. So you're my spotlight tonight, Denise. You're my shining star, and you're like the light that can help other people.
Well, if it can help someone, I'm thrilled because I've done it for a very, very long time where I've carried debt, just a very long time. So if I can help anybody else or inspire them in some way, I give kudos to you. Yes, I had to do it, but I throw it back to you because you made the challenge. And I'm very excited about being here for the next month and doing these questions. And I'm glad you said that it can seem overwhelming at times because I think I do get overwhelmed. But when you break it into little baby steps, like you just gave that example, then that reminds me that things are doable. you know,
Yeah,
and not to eat an elephant. You know, when you eat an elephant, how do you do it? One bite at a time. So thank you
totally,
for the reminder.
totally. So this is pretty much in a nutshell. And I'm just going to recap whatever your goal is. And I know we talk a lot about being debt free because there's so much freedom in that. I want to throw out another statistic for 30-year mortgages. And you can verify this statistic, but I think it takes 18 years in a 30-year mortgage before you start paying more on the principal than on the interest. Like, it is absolutely insane how much interest you pay in the first year. It's practically all interest the
Yes.
first year and just barely any to the principal. And then people get tempted by, oh, here's a different interest rate. I'm going to refinance my mortgage.
Mm.
And oh, my payments are going to be lower. But they don't realize they're still making the bank rich. And the bank is like, oh, we get to set the clock back all the way to year one for the mortgage, and we get to scoop up a lot more interest.
Mm.
So when we're talking about finances, anything in finances, anything that somebody is going to sell you, whether it's stocks or gold or refinancing, somebody is making money on that. And sometimes it's not always clear. Sometimes it seems like they're trying to help you, and I'm not going to doubt that there are people out there in those institutions that really want to help other people, but they also have a very specific education
Mm.
where they don't have the whole picture. Uh, so, just another tip for people that are looking for financial advice, definitely consider the people that receive a commission on what they sell you versus somebody that might be getting an hourly rate. Somebody's getting an hourly rate. Doesn't matter if you buy their suggestions or not, they still get paid the same. Versus somebody that's like, oh, well, if you buy this financial product and this financial product and buy that stock, that's going to be really good for you. And if you buy this and this, then I get paid more money. It's not always clear. Then there are financial advisors that get paid a percentage of what they make for you. So that's another thing to consider. The more money they make you, the more money they're going to get because it's just a percentage. So again, there are things to consider, but marketing is powerful. Marketing is powerful. Sometimes we decide to purchase something before we can even think about it. Have you ever watched a commercial, even going to the movies, and they put some food up on the screen and all of a sudden you're craving a burger or that pizza and you literally just ate and you're like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, yeah, that would be good right now. It's programming. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
like brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
So another tip, keep putting in your brain the sort of crop you want. We got to limit the marketing. Turn our phone off, turn the TV off, listen to a podcast that's going to be uplifting for your goals. And again, it all comes back to number one, where are you? Number two, where do you want to be? Number three, how long is it going to take you to get there at your current pace? And finally, what is it going to take to get there faster? And the bonus is if you have children, you're passing on a legacy. If you have grandchildren, you're passing on a legacy. You are the wise sage who's like, this is how my family can have freedom. So that's it in a nutshell. Any,
Thank you.
I mean, how do you feel about these questions? How do you feel about moving forward?
Thank you for tonight. And I'm glad you said we're not going to answer them in 5 minutes. So I will look at these and I'm excited. I'm excited. And I know that you have that blueprint. Like you said, if you want to learn something, you find someone who did it and then you follow that. And that's the second time I've heard this today. I was in a real estate class earlier. So,
Wow.
and actually the third time, because in Linda's group. So I think God is trying to impress something on me today. So I'm hopeful and I'm excited. So yeah, I won't go into my own story, but we've paid off different things, but I'm interested in replenishing funds back into an account that we took out and just being a better steward. And then just keeping that burden, off of, I want to just remain debt free and build that cash flow and be a better example for our daughter and leave her something as well. So
That's
thank you. I'm excited about it.
awesome. And again, I'm working on these questions because once you get to a certain spot and you meet that goal, I believe we're designed to reach another goal. We never sit. And as far as teaching our children, the best thing you can do is to be that example because actions speak louder than words. So thank you, Denise, for that example. And again, no pop quizzes. It's not going to be graded. Enjoy your journey as you think about these questions. And again, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
what you've accomplished.
Well, thank you for your help. And is there one last question? I'm sorry. Is there anything that we should be doing other than showing up next week and looking at these questions uh, with any of the programs like Life Map or is there one? I think you said War on Debt. Is there something that I should be getting or starting?
That's a great question, and it depends on your goals and your timeline.
Okay.
Uh, Grace, for example, she has both War on Debt and she has Life Map.
Okay.
So she's working through the War on Debt. Another option that is included with War on Debt is she wants to press play in her home and invite people over. So she wants to do that. Life Map offers you financial things, family things, business building things, and it is a monthly subscription.
Right.
War on Debt, once you have it, it's yours forever.
Okay.
So that's nice. Life Map gives you the option for really every category of your life.
Okay.
Some people want to start with one and move to the other. Monique, I think she has both. I just started out with War on Debt because I was stone cold focused on one thing.
Okay.
And now,
Thank you.
now I've spread out to a few different things. So if that, I mean, does that answer your question?
Yes, I think I have to look at what I want to work on and the timeline. And I don't want to spread my focus too much because I'm already doing several things. So I
Right.
want to sit here and figure out, okay, which area am I going to work on? And then get that, just I think it's probably better for me to narrow it down like you did.
Definitely, definitely. And you have these 4 questions. Consider those questions. That's going to help you.
Yes.
And when you're ready for, one or both of those, I would love you to use my link. That
Oh,
way
sure.
they know as a coach, they're like, oh, okay, Larissa's helping people. She just helped another person.
Absolutely.
And that, yeah, that makes me look good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like I said, I applaud you. I know I did it and I'll do it again. And I have to invite other people to come and get involved in this because I would absolutely use your link because you're the reason why I, have several months now of no debt. So
So proud.
absolutely,
And yeah,
absolutely.
and definitely, invite people to the group. It's free. So many free resources that is also a way that helps me continue to give when I see people using it and it's a benefit and people are getting success like you. Whew, that keeps me going. That's like, wow,
Oh, good.
people
Oh,
are
well,
using it. Let me give more.
well, we thank you.
Well, thank you, Denise. Thank you. Thanks to your husband as well. And
Yeah,
you
I should
guys
have
are
pulled him in here. Tell him next time he's getting on camera. But thank you very much. You have a blessed night and just may God just continue to bless you in this ministry, really,
great.
that you're doing to help others and to be, you're being a good steward and then you're shepherding other people to be a good steward of their finances and their relationships, etc. So thank you. Thank you. May God bless.
Amen. Thank you, Denise. All right. I'll see you
Bye.
next time.